Hello. We did it. We're here. We're morning people. Hi, welcome to Salty Sweet Games. I am the aforementioned Salty.
And I'm Sweet.
And these various assorted spices are our friends. Before we go around and meet everyone and their spicy rolling characters, let's talk about some channel stuff real quick. Firstly, a ton of thanks to our sponsors, Roll20, our virtual tabletop of choice. That's not the jingle, we're working on it. Which unites gamers across any distance with easy to use tools. We are part of their Spotlight program and it's super cool. Also, our first 2 emotes are live. They're adorable. We have a third and a fourth on the way. Thank you so much to everyone who subscribed and gifted subs to get that for us. We are very excited to show those to you soon. Also, merch. We have it. And we're going to link it in chat. It's on Redbubble. It's super cute. Also, we here at Salty Sweet Games use safety tools, lines, veils, XN and O cards, because while the characters are going to be put through a ton of shit, the players are here to have fun. Speaking of fun, there are fun donation options listed below that can seriously impact the game. They're really cool. I like them. Just click on the dono image. It'll take you right where you want to go, or you can do bits, either or, whatever. Anyway, we're gonna go around and meet the players now. I'm in some kind of weird space. So yeah, let's meet players. Key, who are you playing?
Hello, I am previously mentioned, the Sweet of the channel, also Kienna, but I am playing Irene Blackwell, who is a resident artist, art forger person. They don't know that she's an art forger, it's cool. And she's just been having some fun times looking at artifacts and like cool art things, and definitely not freaked out at all by the weird possibility of fat sucking vampires. Nope.
Yeah, you seem fine. Everybody seems really fine. Speaking of fine, Summer, hi. Did you like that?
I loved it. I had no idea who you were going to go to, but I was hoping it was me.
I know. I saw the hope in your eyes and I wanted it to be there forever.
Thank you. I am Summer, she, her, and I am playing Charlie Rapp, who uses he, him pronouns, and he's just a normal guy, you know? Like, he's just out here doing the people's work, right?
Yeah.
And he sometimes talks to ghosts, but don't worry about that so much. It hasn't come up yet.
Probably
also,
never will.
I would just like to take this moment to share something really important to me. This stack of Post-it notes that I got. Look at these colors. Look how beautiful this is. This is everything, and I am going to be using these in my notes from here on out. Just wanted to share that because I got these in the mail, and I'm really excited about them. Sorry, irrelevant to everything, but there it is.
No, they're super beautiful. As we know, note-taking saves lives.
It really does.
How
I have a sword.
It goes.
That saves lives too. Me having a sword.
We'll see. We'll see.
Do you want me to get my swords over on the floor?
Oh, that's right. I did leave it there.
Yeah.
Allie, who are you?
I'm your girlfriend, Lauren. We live together.
Where are you?
Yeah, I'm literally right around the corner from you. Hey, everybody. It's Allison. I play Ganymede Graves, adventure scientist, and she is skeptical about this whole De Mendoza guy who monstered out with teeth or pointy proboscis or something. There's your hashtag, pointy proboscis.
It was a bony lancet.
I'm done. It's so great to
All
I'm
right.
done.
Cool. Tommy, speaking of somebody who's done, Tommy, how are you?
Wow, okay. I guess. Well,
I just assumed you're done with me.
I'm too tired to be done with anyone right now. Hi, I'm Tommy, Imperative Pengu on the Twitter sphere. I play Zebulon Augustine Claiborne Montgomery III. not quite yet journalist photographer. Not quite yet there. He's just right now he's Bab. He's 17 and he's a Bab. I'm super looking forward to this, although I don't know if I'm still going to be playing him after today, given that Lauren said I was done, and I think that unfortunately might be a bit of foreshadowing.
I'm sure it will be fine. Okay. Moving on. Recaps. I love recaps. Last time, our heroes moved into the Hotel España to be closer to physically closer to their patron Larkin and his odd companion de Mendoza. Zeb's curiosity got the better of him for the first time of the episode, and he managed to look around both Larkin and Mendoza's rooms while they were absent. Did he find everything in there? Who's to say? The group joined Jackson Elias in an interview with Professor Sanchez at the Museum of Archaeology and Anthropology to discuss the professor's suspicions of Larkin's intentions for the excavation. This time, it was Zeb's impatience that put him in the right place at the right time, as he managed to stop a hideously transformed de Mendoza from attacking the professor's research assistant, Trinidad Rizzo. De Mendoza was trying to stop Rizzo from sharing her research and also tried to steal a band of worked gold that apparently burned him. Zeb fought off this creature, and the pair returned to the group with their fantastical story. Though all were skeptical, the heroes decided to confront Larkin about his companion. And that's where we left off. So, are you all headed back to the Hotel España?
Yeah, we got that nice chest with the rod in it. I got a sword.
Mm-hmm.
We're just gonna go back to the hotel, super casual-like.
Yeah.
And go pay Mr. Larkin a visit.
I mean, I'm excited to see it.
Oh, I'm so excited to see him and see him alive and talk to him. He definitely still has some of his fat left.
I'm excited for that too.
Yeah, me too.
It's gonna be a good time. All right, you arrive at the Hotel España. Everything seems perfectly normal. You can go up to the top floor where I think Charlie and Ganymede and Zebulon are staying.
Yeah.
As we enter the lobby, I walk to the front desk and look for a desk attendant or concierge.
Mm-hmm. Petronilla is there, the owner and proprietor.
Yes. Good morning, Petronella. Have there been any calls or messages from Mr. Larkin's room yet today?
No?
Very good. And was he down for breakfast, or did you send breakfast up?
Usually his attendant brings it up.
Mr. de Mendoza. Yes. Have you seen him this morning? Has he been through recently, perhaps?
No.
Oh, interesting. And she casts a look at Zebulon if he's nearby paying any attention. Interesting.
Zebulon is like eyes darting everywhere looking for Mendoza. He is worried that Mendoza is gonna come out of the fucking woodwork at him.
Very well. Thank you so much. I head back toward the elevator.
We're listening to elevator music as we go up.
Yes,
floor.
very old-timey elevator music. Sure.
I love it.
There's probably an elevator operator, isn't there?
It's just a guy in here playing a harmonica.
There's probably not an
totally
elevator, but we'll go with it. Yeah.
What? Sure there is.
Sure there is. Sure.
Elevator invention.
Not that they didn't exist. That's not what I'm saying. Okay. You all arrive at the top floor.
Mm-hmm.
So we're just about to head to their room.
Yeah.
Pardon, just a moment. It won't take long at all. And Ganymede steps into her room. And she was in dress whites, her navy uniform. But when she comes out, she's taken the jacket off. It's just the shirt underneath. But she's also carrying a weapon that you haven't seen before. It looks kind of like a sawed-off shotgun, except it has kind of like a pistol grip. And at the end of it, there is like an axe head. Like it could be used to chop wood, or pirates also, maybe. And as she comes out the door, she's got it kind of bent open. It bends open to load 2 barrels, and she's putting a shell in each barrel. Well,
wait, now, so you can have a gun, but I can't have a gun? I mean, look here, if anyone's going to be attacked by this Mendoza fella, it's going to be me. I'm telling you. Just like, I don't need to like regularly use it, but just in case all of y'all are elsewhere or down, I would like something to defend myself with that is more than this piece, whatever this weird piece of gold is.
Jackson Elias kind of puts his hand on your shoulder. I'm certain both myself and Miss Graves here can defend you, Zebulon.
Again, I am fairly certain that you are both very capable people, but what's the off chance that at some point we may be separated for one reason or another?
That would
you cannot defend me.
That would end poorly, I think, for you.
You should
yes, and it would be a little bit less likely to end poorly for me if I had a gun.
You did a pretty good job with your bare hands, according to you and Miss Rizzo.
As I said, gun is last resort, but I cannot kill a man, a fat-sucking vampire, whatever he may be, with my bare hand.
See here, but none of us are gonna give you a gun and leave ourselves without one.
Well, then direct me to where I may purchase one. How much is a gun anyway?
Sure, just head out down the street and just ask any random passerby if you can just buy their gun.
You think $10 is enough? That's about all I got on me right now.
I highly doubt it, but you can try.
Arma, pistola, either one of those words will work. Or you could stay here. That's what I would recommend.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to leave by myself at the moment, but if the opportunity arises,
well, great.
It's settled.
I would
then.
like to buy a gun.
Well, you can buy one when you get back to the States with the permission of your parents, I'm sure.
I don't know where you're from, Mr. Rat, but I don't think I need my permission from my parents to buy a gun. It is fairly common.
Aren't you like 15?
I am nearly 18, thank you very much, good sir.
Great. My mistake.
Zebulon, was this door locked last time you were up here?
What door? Our door?
No, he's over at the door to Larkin's room. He's moved on.
Oh, no. There was a funny smell coming out of there, and I took a peek in, and it looked like someone had trashed the place. So I went to go tell room cleaning just to, let them know. Because it was right foul smell. It was real bad, and yeah, it was. I don't know. That's real rude of them to have trashed their room like that. Like, I've always been told, don't make more of them. You always clean up after yourself. And I feel bad for the poor room cleaning folks who are gonna have to deal with that.
Jackson Elias knocks on the door. Gus, Mr. Larkin.
Wait, was that Mr. Larkin's room?
Yes. I assumed you knew that.
Well, no. No, I did not.
Everybody make a listen check.
Wow.
I don't understand these spicy rolls. Wow. Wow.
Zeb is too preoccupied with getting his gun.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Crit. Okay. Ganymede, you hear this first. Charlie, you hear it soon after. As you're talking, as Jackson knocks on the door, you hear a very faint kind of moaning. I mean, it's so quiet, especially talking like this. You're surprised that anybody could hear it, but you do, both of you.
As Ganymede hears it, her first instinct is to look to Charlie just to see if he's heard it.
Yeah, you can definitely tell that he's like listening intently, that he hears something.
Shall we, Mr. Rapp?
He just kind of takes a big breath and he's like, let's do it.
All right, how are you getting in this room?
I mean, we have an axe, right?
Is the door locked? Has anybody tried the door? It is locked.
Jackson tried it, yes.
I can try and like push it open, right?
Totally.
I'm just gonna try and shoulder it open.
Yeah, you can make a strength if you'd like.
Sure. Here I go.
Nice.
Success.
Very good. You easily shoulder this door open. And inside is a very similar sight to what Zebulon saw earlier. The room reeks. Mm-hmm. It's this very kind of sickly, sweet smell. It's all the curtains are drawn in here. You can see it does look a mess. But something that was in here that wasn't before is a figure on the bed, breathing very shallowly.
Can I do a quick like sweep of the room just to make sure that nobody else is in here?
Absolutely, make a spot hidden.
Same, I'll do the same.
From out in the hallway, I was like, well, now, Mr. Rapp, I don't know if it's it's very rude to just barge in like that. You are not breaking the door of this hotel, this poor hotel.
It's too late for that. Hard success and an extreme success from Ganymede.
Yeah. No one else is in here.
Thank God.
Who'd you pay Allison?
Just a little offering to the Roll20 gods and goddesses.
Yeah, I'll immediately move over to the figure. Is this the source of the moaning?
Yes, it's
Great.
It's Larkin.
Yeah.
His eyes are kind of rolled back into his head. His shirt is off, and with those successes, actually...
Tell me more.
I will as soon
I'd love to know.
as I find my note about it.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So, being this close to him without him wearing much covering. Hold on, let me fade out the very cool
I was about to
music.
say this music is really cheery for what's going on right now.
Music. The veins on his wrists seem discolored, almost black, like that's how dark they are. And now you can see a large tattoo on his torso. It's like, looks like a large ragged spiral radiating out from the center of his sternum. The spiral ends above his diaphragm, where it connects to like a misshapen kind of humanoid figure with large outstretched hands that appear to end in claws. And I think as his eyes kind of flutter and come back, you can see they are super dilated.
Mr. Larkin, can you hear me?
Mostly moaning at this point.
Does it seem like he's trying to speak?
Mm-hmm.
I have a really great skill. I don't know if this would help me here.
Yeah.
Reading lips.
Sure.
Because maybe he can't make the sounds, but maybe he can, you know, make the movement with his mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Hard success.
Yeah. He seems to be saying medicine and is kind of trying to kind of like with his head point you toward the side table.
Do I see medicine?
You
there?
see a syringe ready to go.
Yeah. I'll look at Ganymede and just say, he needs his medicine, and he'll point to it too. He's like, never stuck anybody with a syringe before. Has anybody here had any?
Once or twice. Just once or twice. I think I can manage. Zeb, my dear, check the windows, please. And to Irene, have you come see this tattoo? Does it look familiar to you? And all of this as she's grabbing the syringe. And do you need a first aid roll or something for that?
Couple things. I'm gonna say with your extreme success from looking around the room, you can kind of pinpoint that whatever this medicine is, it's not traditional. And yeah, I think a first aid to administer it.
And as Irene's coming over to look at the tattoo, could I see if I recognize it from any, or like Elias as well?
Mm-hmm.
We'll wave him over.
Oh yeah, he's coming with
see if
you.
he's recognized anything in cult readings or anything like that.
You can make an occult roll or a Cthulhu mythos roll.
Okay. Extreme success. You thought you stole my rolls? No, ma'am.
I don't understand.
Not here to play today.
I mean,
feeling
you are.
well. Oh, yeah. I feel great.
Irene has the minimum in either of those, so I'm not going to have her roll that. But I think for her, she wants to be copying that down.
Oh, totally. Absolutely.
So tell me what I know. Where have I seen this mark before?
In your dreams.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Why not?
Oh. Anything else?
Yes.
Other context?
Yeah, I'll give you... calm down. Both you and Jackson... actually, you know what? Maybe you've seen something similar in one of his books. Like a brief mention. He says... That's Kenyan. You'd probably remember notes in his book about a death cult originating in Kenya called, I'm going to give it to you, that's an extreme success. It's called the Cult of the Bloody Tongue.
Yeah, I think Charlie just nods and says, yeah, I read about that in your book, the Cult of the Bloody Tongue, right?
Yeah, that's... What is this man doing here? He looks pretty disturbed. What else you would remember from his notes is, like, this cult was thought to be, like, long gone.
Mr. Elias, what else do you know about this cult? I know that you said in your book that they were no longer around, but clearly that's not the case.
Well, they weren't the main source of research, just something I came across. But they were a nasty sort. I'd have to go over my notes to tell you any more. Ganymede.
I want to investigate this medicine before I stick it in his arm.
Do you have any sciences?
Natural world is probably the closest I can come here.
I'll give you, how about just an education roll?
Okay. Fail.
You are unsure at this time.
Can I push it?
Yep. You need a hard.
Okay.
Okay, tell me how you push it. Because I may give you the information, but since you pushed it and failed the push...
Is there a like an ampule nearby that it's been drawn from?
Yeah, sure.
Probably smelling it. I might even, okay, in the interest of some fun role play here,
Yeah.
I might even sort of dab the top of it
Yes.
and just taste it.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's heroin. Do with that as you will. I won't prescribe what happens to you. But that's heroin.
It was just a dab.
Yeah, I know.
She walks over toward the others to the bedside, but kind of just looks up at them and says, with the syringe, "This is heroin."
Which is legal, by the way.
Yeah.
It was medicine at one point.
Yep.
I think it's at this point that Zeb walks in, because Zeb's been trying to be the good Boy Scout outside, where he's been like, "Do I go into a room that's clearly been broken into?" Like, you know, while he does have the adventurous streak, he still fights with the
morality.
I don't want to get caught.
Totally.
He's like, "Right, everyone's in there. I'm just there to make sure that nothing too untoward." And he walks in and he sees the bodies. "Oh, sweet baby Jesus, what is wrong with Mr. Locke and that? Mr. Locke, are you okay? Blink twice if you're okay."
We're trying to find that out. I guess we just give it to him. If he seems to think it'll help, then I trust that at least it won't kill him.
And then I think Zeb has like a thought for a moment and says, "Now, do you think that Mr. Mendoza had his room sort of attached to this room?" as he points over to the door that he looked through earlier.
Well, it was my understanding they had 2 rooms, so I would guess that it would be nearby.
Yes, that you know how our rooms connect? That's their rooms connect in there.
Well, we haven't looked in there yet, but be my guest. Do you want to go knock?
Zeb walks back over to their room. How heavy is the golden metal band?
How heavy is it? It's 25 pounds.
25 pounds, okay. That's easily carryable. Can Zeb touch and pick up the golden band?
Okay. It's, yep, you got it.
It's not burning him. It's not doing anything weird to him. Okay,
No,
cool.
it's cool
He's
to
going to
the
go back
touch.
to the other door. He's going to open the door and he's going to hold this thing out like a cross in front of him.
All right. No one's in there.
Are you out there, Mr. Demon Man? Are you in this room?
Is Zeb doing this by himself?
He hasn't walked
Good.
super far into it.
He
Like,
needs
you're
to
right
learn his
there.
lesson.
You're right there.
Make a spot hidden roll, Zebulon. And Ganymede, you're using luck on that.
Yeah, I will. I think Ganymede heard Zeb say Mr. Demon Man,
Like missed.
and it made her giggle, and yeah.
Okay, this is what I was
I'll
afraid
use
was
the
going to
7
happen.
luck.
My luck is gone. Roll 20 is like, you have had enough luck.
There's enough extreme successes for one day. Yes. So, Ganymede, you do manage to administer this. You see almost an instant change in him as his breathing calms, his eyes, everything seems to begin to stabilize. Zebulon, it's as empty and as sparse as before. You don't see any personal effects or anything. You do see the windows open, but it may have been before. Somebody also, I mean, they may have sent up like a cleaning service to like air it out.
Other than the tattoo, are there any other marks on his body?
Lots of injection points.
Yeah. Anything that doesn't seem like man-made?
How do you mean?
Like anything that seems like a bite.
Oh.
Rather than like a needle, like a syringe.
Let me roll back up. What'd you get on that?
Hard success, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. No.
Okay. Awesome. Does this look like a person who's just addicted to heroin then to me? Because obviously Charlie's brain is going to like debunking potential supernatural events. Like maybe De Mendoza isn't a bloodsuck or a fat-sucking vampire. Maybe this guy's just addicted to heroin kind of thing.
He mostly looks addicted to heroin except for the really dark veins.
Gotcha. Okay.
What's Irene doing right now?
I think she finished copying the picture, and then she kind of stepped away to not be in the way of administering medicine to this man and making sure he's not going to die. She's probably concerned about Zeb.
Are you gonna go in there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna follow Zeb for a
Okay.
minute, yeah.
As you enter the room, you can make a spot hidden because this is your first time in there.
Cool. Let's do that. I can roll a bonus.
You
because
yep.
You don't know what that means, but do you want me to do you just want to do it as advantages, or do you want to actually do it?
Yeah, just do it as an advantage. I'm not dealing with
Jesus
that.
Christ, 3 points of luck, please.
Yes, of course. So looking around again, you notice it is pretty barren. It looks like it hasn't been slept in, but again, maybe room service came and turned everything down. You don't see anything that looks like it belongs to De Mendoza. Really nothing looks like it's been used, apart from like a chair. You do, however, see the mattress bulging a bit.
I think Irene will kind of lean into Zeb and be like, there seemed to be something with the mattress.
Zeb looks at Irene, just like, do you want me to go?
Well, I'm gonna
the
go check it. I think you are welcome.
We get someone with a gun.
She reaches into her bag and pulls out a pistol.
Right, you are what? Everyone has a gun but me. Okay, I see how it is. All right, I'm gonna lift that mattress up. You just keep your gun trained on it. All right. Any fat suckers come out of there, I want you to shoot it with absolute impunity.
Zebulon, I know how these things go.
I'm saying this mostly for myself more than anyone else right now.
Of course.
All right. I'm
I
gonna
guess
lift it
we're gonna
on.
go
I'm
with
gonna
that.
lift it on. I'm gonna lift it on. I'm gonna lift it on 3.
All right.
1, 2, 3. Lifts the mattress.
All right, you lift the mattress. Irene, I assume you're close by.
Yeah, and has the gun pointed that way.
Yes, of course, of course. You see what looks like a mask made of gold.
Oh, all right. We're good. There's no fat suckers here. We're good. What do you think that is?
It's about 6 inches square. The face is stylized. There are, again, these blocky geometrical shapes raised from the surface. No eye holes. It's solid.
Well, if I were to make a guess, it's the same kind of make and style as what you have in your hands right there. And she's gonna reach over and start to pick it up.
Okay.
Yeah. And she wants to take a look at it.
Okay.
A little closer.
Good. As you examine it, you notice the back of it is highly polished to the point that it's reflective. It does seem to be the same era. Actually, why don't you make an archaeology roll, because you're on the right track already. Or anthropology. I'll take anthropology.
I don't have archaeology, but I have history.
Oh, I'll take history.
Okay.
History.
Cool. Oh my god. Critical fail.
Okay.
Jeez.
It does look similar to the other things that Larkin has showed you, but you couldn't quite place it. And now I need you to make a power roll.
Oh, cool. Love that.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine. Hard success.
Okay.
I'm very powerful.
Okay, hard success.
It's a lot of power.
Yeah.
You've played this game before, haven't you?
So, Irene.
Yeah.
As you look at the back of this mask, your knees buckle as you are bombarded with visions. You see an ancient stepped pyramid on a plateau. You see the pyramid break apart as what look like greasy white tendrils dripping with huge maggots reach upwards from the remains of the pyramid. You flash to a train. It's like you're on a train looking out of the window. You see planes. You are overwhelmed by the strong smell of smoke and then the sound of screaming. And finally, well, not finally. Oh, there's so much. You flash again, and you are in a crowd of thousands of people, men and women of every race, performing some kind of orgiastic rite on top of a huge mountain. And finally, you look up at the sun as it goes black, and dark tendrils spread across the sky until that is all you can see. I need you to make a sanity roll.
Cool. Okay. Extreme success.
Cool, so you only lose 3 sanity.
Okay.
And you fall onto the bed. Zebulon, this happened within seconds.
Zeb immediately goes over and sort of shakes, not like shakes hard, but like, the sort of by the shoulders. Miss Blackwell, are you all right?
No, and she'll kind of like look away from the mask and like to Zeb. I think so. And she's taking her scarf off and her shawl off, and she's covering the reflective surface of this mask.
Mm-hmm.
You want to head back to the other room, or perhaps your own room to get some rest or something?
Maybe. Maybe we should talk to the others. I don't know how wise it is to be by yourself right now.
That is probably a wise idea.
I'm guessing that, they're just in the other room. Would we have been able to hear Zeb like say like, "Are you okay?" Like, would I have been able to hear that from over here?
I think with the door open, like once Irene has fallen back, you can all notice it. I think as long as somebody is staying with Larkin to make sure he's not, there we go.
Yeah, because if he had heard anything that like, Irene, are you okay? Basically, he'd been like, fuck this guy to Larkin. Obviously he'd stepped back to need room to give him heroin. But he's gonna go over to help Irene and kind of like just look at her and be like, what happened?
We found this under the mattress, and she'll show the face part of the mask.
Yep.
And I looked at it, and you know how you talk about being able to feel things from objects?
Yeah.
Did you get visions? Images?
It's kind of hard to say. Not in the way that I think most people might think of them. It's more like somebody telling me a story. I kind of experience everything secondhand, but did something like that happen with this?
I think that's the best way I can explain it. And she kind of like, her hands are like fidgeting the way that she does when she's extremely agitated. And I think she's kind of like trying to go for her bag and trying to unclasp it, but she's not finding the ability to undo the clasp on it.
Yeah, I think he just reaches down and kind of gently moves her hands aside and unclasps it for her.
And she'll kind of give him a small nod and then flip it open, and she's taking out her notebook again and her pencils, and she is sketching out as she's explaining what she saw. So she shows a sketch of the pyramid, and then the tentacles kind of coming out from it, and then the train window, and she's putting some very small notes about like fire, smoke, screaming, the other with the city, and then finally ending with the sky. She's kind of just talking all of this out, kind of jumping from thing to thing as she's remembering them. And probably the lines are extremely loose and kind of just extremely sketchy. as she's just trying to encapsulate it.
Yeah, I think he's paying very close attention to what she's saying, and I think if she'll let him, he'll take the mask and kind of put it aside and look towards Elias and kind of like nod at it for him to come take a look at it, basically. But he's like paying attention to Irene and definitely like making like a mental note. Obviously the first thing that triggers in his mind is that we were supposed to be going to pyramids, right? Like that was what the expedition was.
Yes.
Irene, do you think this pyramid that you saw, do you think that could be where we were supposed to be headed?
I don't know if it's the exact place, but it's a step pyramid, and that's what these places are. It could be a step pyramid from other places. I don't know. I'd have to see a picture of where we're going, or.
Yeah, of course. I'm just trying to make sense of any of this and why that would happen with this mask.
Jackson comes over and offers you a handkerchief, Irene.
Yeah, I think she'll kind of take it, not really thinking about it, just like something to do with her hands just going through motions and movement, so that she's not frozen.
That does look like the right kind of thing for around here, but our Miss Graves would probably be able to tell us better.
Don't look at the back.
Is something on the back?
It's what triggered this whole thing. It's highly reflective, polished, and I didn't get much more details from it before. Well, all this.
He's, if you let him, he'll look through your sketches as well.
Yeah.
Ganymede, Gus seems to be stabilizing. His eyes are focusing. With your help, he will be able to sit up.
As I see him regaining some strength, I push some pillows up against the wall and give him my arm to prop him up a bit. Mr. Larkin, sir, what has happened here?
He takes some time to kind of breathe. He looks, as his eyes focus, he looks around kind of confused. Where is de Mendoza? He was supposed to give me my medicine. I don't even know how long ago.
I'm afraid I don't know, although it seems as though he attacked my young friend Zebulon at the university not long ago.
What do you mean attacked?
Well, he leapt upon him, had a sword, I think, something of that nature.
I do know he carries a weapon. Why would he attack anyone?
That's exactly the question I was hoping to be able to ask him, but as I said a moment ago, he's nowhere nearby that we're aware of.
He looks kind of overwhelmed at this information. What exactly happened? I know he has a bit of a temper, but I can't imagine him attacking anyone unprovoked.
Mr. Larkin, what is the matter with your wrists?
It's this, and he kind of looks down and realizes that he's shirtless and like pulls the covers up. It's what's the word? Holdover from when I was, when I had malaria. There were all sorts of treatments at the time that didn't work. This is from one of them.
I see. She's kind of continuing to play the nurse a little bit here. It's quite an interesting tattoo you have on your chest. Were you spent time at sea then?
No, only in the voyage. Yeah. He looks really confused when you say tattoo.
Okay. I don't think she'd push much further than that.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think that she's looking around for a washcloth that she can dampen and place on his forehead, something like that.
Yeah. He looks relieved. Thank you. Thank you.
You'll forgive me for saying so, sir, but you seem in poor condition for an expedition into the jungle highlands.
No, he immediately kind of tries to straighten himself up. No, it's, just because I didn't have my medicine on time. That's the only reason.
And what condition precisely is this medicine treating for you? Seems important to know if we're going to be spending a great deal of time together.
I told you it's long-term after effects of malaria.
Oh. Does that make sense to me? Can I?
You could roll medicine or psychology, maybe, depending on how you want to approach it.
Yeah, I like that. I guess psychology. I don't really have much of, but I'll give it a shot here.
Okay.
Yeah, it makes complete sense.
I mean, his confusion about the tattoo, his kind of, insistence that he'll be fine, like, those all ring true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm writing all of this off as him having had taken a bad turn and just beginning to kind of recover himself. Do you have any idea at all where Mr. Mendoza may have gone then? Could track him down for you.
No, I have no idea. Perhaps, I mean, he could still be in Lima. He may have, if he really attacked someone, then perhaps he was, afraid and left. Perhaps we should report this to the police and obviously continue on without him. Maybe I can find another aid for the journey, but...
He may have been seeking to find a particular artifact that was being stored there at the university museum.
Oh, you. Yes.
A bar of gold, engraved or carved, a kind of holding my hands out in the rough dimensions of it.
Mm-hmm. He just kind of shrugs.
Well, perhaps we should report this to the authorities. Was Mr. Mendoza Peruvian then?
I assume so.
You didn't know where he was from?
I met him here.
No. Yeah, of course.
He's not a very chatty fellow.
No. And she's just going to continue to, give him first aid and make sure that he's okay. And I think that's probably all of the subtle interrogation that has in mind at this point.
Jackson's kind of, although he's been over with Irene and looking at the sketches, has been listening. And he has this kind of healthily skeptical look on his face. Like he's, again, like you, like a lot of what he said makes sense, but maybe it's Jackson's experience with De Mendoza.
I make eye contact with him, just kind of acknowledging that suspicion and skepticism, but I don't think I want to say anything in front of Larkin.
Okay.
I think I do ask, Irene, she's all right?
She seemed to have had some kind of reaction to something. I'm not sure, but she maybe it's something we ought to talk about later.
Yes, of course. Other things more important right now, clearly.
Larkin kind of calls over. I'm sure I will be quite recovered by Monday, and if I can go and, once I'm feeling better, go and report, or I can ask someone to come here and give them the description of De Mendoza, and we can resume without him.
Charlie kind of turns his attention over to Larkin. So you wouldn't have a problem if we file a report against him, considering he did attack our friend here and one of the students of the university.
No, of course. Do as you wish.
All right, great. Well, good to see that you're doing better.
Thank you, Miss Graves. Thank you all.
Question.
Answer.
The smell.
Yeah.
Where is it coming from?
Him.
Great. Love it. So fun. Well, everybody, maybe we should give Mr. Larkin here some room to rest. We can send up some food if you're feeling hungry at all.
Some water would be much appreciated, Mr. Rapp.
All right, we'll get that to you straight away. And we've actually moved into the hotel, so myself, Miss Graves, and Mr. Montgomery here are just right across the hall.
Oh, excellent. That will make leaving on Monday much easier.
Yeah, that's what we thought when we came by to check on you and, happened to be extra rooms. We figured we'd snatch them up.
Wonderful.
And yeah, he'll help Irene if she still needs it, and make to leave.
Zeb will, if everyone else is leaving, Zeb will follow. This is a lot. But as he's leaving, he sort of turns back and he says, I do hope you feel better soon, Mr. Larkin. I just have a small request of when you do feel better, before we leave on Monday, if you could just clean up your room a little bit, I would feel that I would just feel much better about for the service here. I don't think they would want to have to.
Make a psychology check.
Oh my God.
I'm trying to see if I can justify what his current psychology is, what the psychology on his character sheet is, because it makes sense for him to later to have some ability to read people.
Like an instinct,
I think,
maybe?
I mean, you still have to be able to read people in football, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Alright, let's go. Well, what was the other one? Yeah, let's just go with it.
I mean, technically, all of us would be better at doing things in a few years, so I wouldn't worry about it too much.
Oh my god.
Woo!
There it is.
There's a brief pause, and then he smiles. Ah, yes, of course. Of course, Mr. Montgomery is good advice.
It's just, it'd be nice for them. I think they would be very happy.
He smiles.
Zeb leaves. Zeb doesn't notice anything, just leave, doesn't think anything of it. It's
Who was
over.
still in the room? Had everybody left?
Yeah, Ganymede is leaving.
Okay.
I mean, I guess it would have been Charlie and Irene would have been right before.
Right.
Since we were with Zeb the furthest from the door.
Okay. Cool.
We'll look in on you in a bit, Mr. Larkin.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps have some breakfast sent up.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
Also, you are probably going to have to ask them to repair your door. It does appear to be broken.
I mean, the lock's just busted a little bit. It's fine.
Yes, thank you. Thank you all so much.
Yeah, we'll leave. Bye.
Bye! Okay. So you're out. The door's closed behind you.
Yes.
Closed but broken, right?
Yeah.
So it's like
mean,
we're trying to close it, but it doesn't close quite properly.
That's assuming that the lock was a good lock.
I mean, yeah.
I doubt it actually broke any part of the door.
There's still going to be damage to it.
Yeah, lock
it's fine.
damage.
It's
It's
fine.
fine. I'm not worried about it. I guess we'll head to Charlie's room. We can all convene in there since it's probably got the most space right now.
Mm-hmm.
We can all go in and have a chat.
Is there a house phone in the area where the stairs kind of enter the floor?
No. The nearest phone is, there is no phone in the hotel.
Ah. Are there, if there is a housekeeper or someone nearby, I'll flag them down and in Spanish ask that a meal be brought up to Mr. Larkin's room.
Yep.
What was that about?
Nope.
Suspicion
No,
as a
nothing.
mood.
Nothing.
Speech.
Nothing.
Why do
Okay.
they seem hesitant to go to that room for some reason, Lauren?
Yeah. I just didn't want to say make a psychology check again.
I think
So
you
yes,
can tell.
yeah, they're hesitant. Ganymede speaks fluent Spanish too, so yes,
Great.
they don't want to go there, but they will.
But they will. Yeah, and I think after everybody's over in Charlie's room, we can kind of swap information, like fill in Ganymede about the mask, and she can tell us the stuff that she knows about, or the stuff that she got from Larkin.
Did we bring the mask with us?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Sure we did.
but it had Irene's shawl over it still.
Mm-hmm. So, I think it's pretty interesting that he's so gung-ho on finishing out this expedition, especially given his current state. I don't think he'll be ready to travel come Monday morning.
We're going to be carrying him before it's all over.
And
I mean, I do feel for the man. I mean, I have you see this with I have a few friends who have gotten themselves hurt playing football, and you know they want to keep playing. And when you've got a big goal in front of you, you know, a big dream. I can feel for the man, although that only goes so far as going there. At least I still would rather he clean his room.
well, I think his the cleanliness of his room is probably the least important thing to him right now, given that
they
he
do say
seemed near
cleanliness
death.
is close to godliness. I mean,
Well, he was close to God in a different way today.
Miss Blackwell, have you quite recovered?
I think I'm all right. Thank you, everyone.
A bit overcome by the morning heat, perhaps?
Perhaps it's whatever it was very intense. Actually, Miss Graves, could you take a look? And she'll unfold the shawl just to show the front.
Yep.
It's like, I feel like this is very similar to the band and the other artifacts that we've seen, but I feel like you have a little more knowledge and understanding of these things than I do from a historical sense.
Well, yes, I am. I'm an archaeologist after all. And before, she doesn't know what has happened. She's had all of her attention was focused on Larkin. Before anyone can tell her not to, she's reached down and grabbed it and just kind of holding it, just looking at the front, and very quickly is going to flip it over and look at the back. This is exactly what she would do.
Yeah, no, it makes total sense because she didn't get a warning about that. First, make an archaeology roll.
Okay, and she's also very encouraged by anything that sounds even close to praise. So she is eager to show off her skills.
Yeah.
So this is
dang it, Irene. You just had to stroke that ego, huh?
You had to be nice.
Yeah, if Charlie saw her about to flip it, he would grab onto it, like snap it back to hold her to keep it from flipping over. Does that make sense? Listen, I'm standing like right here, and like we were filling her in on what happened with Irene. I will do an opposed roll if that's what you want.
No, I mean you could. No, you could ask. You could interject. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, literally just reaching out a hand to hold it flat, like to stop her from turning it over.
Sure.
I failed that archaeology roll, but I'd like to push it again.
Okay.
Nice.
There we go.
You succeed. I think right away. Okay, we'll say as you're, kind of flipping it over quickly, Charlie puts out his hand and it gives you more time to examine the front, which is where all the interesting things are. It does seem to be a Tiwanaku again, the same era as the pendant, so like 1500s. And not as old as the band of gold that Zebulon is currently carrying, but as old as that pendant. Again, it seems like the time when the conquistadors came over.
Well, it matches the pendant, perhaps crafted around the same time. Yeah, so I guess you'd see her then going to flip it over as you're putting your hand into.
Oh, I wouldn't actually look at the back of that. Irene here actually said that it was the back of the mask that brought on a series of visions, if you will.
And I'm looking at Irene first of all, and then back at Charlie.
Yeah, looks dead. Like, normally when he's kidding, there's like a look on his face that he's being sarcastic. He looks completely serious.
That seems unlikely. Are you implying that perhaps there's some magical power about this thing?
I mean, it's about as unlikely as anything else that's happened since we've arrived here. Finding this mask under De Mendoza's bed was unlikely. Finding Larkin with that massive tattoo on his chest near death was unlikely. De Mendoza growing teeth and a sharpened tongue seems unlikely, but all of those things seem to have happened, so...
Mr. Rapp, there are perfectly rational scientific explanations for all of these things.
That is usually the case. I'm sure Miss Blackwell did see something, but you also have an autistic mind. Perhaps everything has been a bit much. He doesn't look like he's like condescending. He looks genuinely concerned.
I think Charlie lets go of the mask and he says, "Then be my guest." And he'll let her look at it.
Does she?
Well, you're all right here. If anything happens, well, you'll be here to administer the appropriate first aid or whatever's necessary. There may be some important clue for us. And as she says that, she does look down and flip it over.
I'm keeping a close eye on her.
Mm-hmm.
Very close.
Make a power check.
I will use one of my advantages for this.
Are you not strong-willed?
Oh, I am. Now I can't remember. Let me just check to be sure. I went back and forth. No, I am strong-willed.
Yeah, I thought so.
So I do automatically get advantage on power rolls. All right. So here we go.
Okay.
Hard success and a regular success.
Okay. Ganymede's eyes roll into the back of her head. Ganymede, you see darkness, and then you see, as if you were looking at it from above, and then shooting down tunnels. So many tunnels, a vast network of tunnels, and you can smell earth all around you as if you're underground. You hear the cries of beasts. You can't identify what they are. Your eyes blink. Darkness again. You see your hand reaching out to a large red rock that is very warm, and next to it there's a pit, dark, descending into the earth. You see an explosion. All you hear are the sounds of it. You see the sky being ripped open, And then you see a door. A red door. With the number 410 on it. And for some reason, this fills you with more dread than anything. And then you see the same final vision Irene saw. Black tendrils spreading across the sun, all light going out until darkness is all you can see. And you fall to the floor. Unless, of course, someone catches you.
I'll catch her. I was waiting for it.
And Irene
so
is
ready
there
for it.
and taking the mask in her shawl again and just...
Oh, and Allison, make a sanity check.
Sure.
You knew what you were doing.
I knew. No,
She knew.
I was 100% down for this.
Listen, let's just get everybody on the supernatural board, okay? Let's all go. Wow, that's a really great roll there.
Wow.
Yeah.
You still have an
You
advantage
lose
that you...
5
didn't you?
sanity.
Just kidding.
Okay, so I also have the resilient cult talent that lets me trade sanity loss for luck.
Mm-hmm.
Point for point.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to invoke that at this point and take that as 5 luck loss, I think.
All right.
Yeah, I think Charlie catches you and then kind of moves you over to the bed and sits you down.
Am I unconscious?
Nope.
Are you all right?
Her eyes flutter. It's as if she's coming out of a seizure. And she props herself up. Yes, of course I'm all right. Why would I not be all right? Of course I'm fine. And there's a beat pause. And then she jumps out of the bed, runs across the room to the dresser where the wash basin is, and vomits into the wash basin.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What?
Charlie goes over to pour some water.
There is clearly some sort of demon magic at work in this place. Ganymede, I don't know what you have brought me into, but this,
He hands you the water.
Yeah.
have I mentioned that I'm in high school? What is this? What is happening?
Mr. Montgomery, I think even if you had not mentioned it, we could have sussed it out.
As she takes a sip of water and she's just sort of dabbing the corners of her mouth very properly with a towel. Well, Zebulon, what I've gotten you into appears to be the adventure of a lifetime. This is fascinating. The tunnels. Miss Blackwell, the tunnels, is that what you saw?
No. What did you see? And she's opening up her notebook.
And Ganymede will describe it in as much detail as she can.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think as soon as they end on, like, again, the black tendril taking over the sun, she'll redraw it again and then kind of draw the connecting line between the two sketches she's made of it. So, it's... You would say that the cause of these types of visions is the back of this mask now?
Jackson pipes up. I mean, we know Mr. Larkin has been using drugs, narcotics and such. Maybe this is laced with something. If de Mendoza's the one who provided him with the heroin, might something be on this mask that's infecting those up close?
I'm unfamiliar with any drug that infects you just by looking at it. I'm considering Irene has held the mask, and so did Mrs. Graves. And before they experienced anything, it would be quite strange for it to be something that required touch or scent alone, because both would be close enough.
There are certain compounds found mostly here in South America that are contact poisons, but a contact hallucinogen.
That lasts only mere moments.
Quite strange.
Also, it would be very strange for a drug to cause two people to have the same vision separately.
Well, Miss Graves did see the sketches and was told by us what Miss Blackwell saw. It could be in her consciousness.
He just shrugs a little bit. All I'm saying is the evidence doesn't exactly back up the fact that it would be a narcotic. We have 2 of 2 cases of people looking at the back of the mask that have experienced a supernatural vision.
Supernatural is a perhaps a misapplied word in this case, Mr. Rapp. It is certainly, however, in need of greater research. I'm clear of that much, and I'm becoming clearer still that perhaps, Zebulon, we need to find you a gun.
That's what I've been saying.
I don't know why you would
Yes,
jump to that
someone
conclusion.
agrees with me. That now I don't need anything fancy. It just needs. And Zeb has now like sort of been distracted from the the demon magic and the I need to get out of here moment.
So, and she points at the bar of gold, like the freaking plaque thing that we've been carrying around, or Zeb's been carrying around. Anyway, so if that came from a place that is connected with the journal note saying that had a de Mendoza in it, and then he, under his mattress, also has a gold artifact from that same time with the same patterns. I'm a little concerned about why he wants to go there and what he would want this information that all seems to be connected to each other to the location of the expedition. He could be headed there himself already. And then the question is why? Mr. Larkin doesn't seem to know anything. Or doesn't seem to know all of the negative things. He seemed surprised that Mr. Mendoza would attack someone. Maybe de Mendoza is the head behind this all?
And Larkin's a pawn?
Yeah, or an unknowing vehicle. You know, someone who's very rich who wants to go and happens to want to go to a place of interest, use his resources, him as the face, because Mr. de Mendoza is not a very charismatic person, to say the least. Much more credible in terms of getting other people to help as well.
Well, Larkin does seem to think that this is all of his idea, though.
It could have been. It could have, at least the beginning could have been. You know, wanting to go and find treasure, whatever it is. But if you have an aide with you, you hire somebody who seems to take on a very strange job, to say the least, administer medicine, and also take you to a hidden archaeological location. It'd be very easy to start suggesting things.
Part of Larkin's memory does seem to be spotty, that is true.
And if he is regularly taking that type of medicine, then he's dependent on an aid. And he may be more likely to listen to ideas and then think of them as his own. He's a very vulnerable man in this position. Easy to manipulate, I suppose.
I was already quite concerned for his health and welfare, Miss Blackwell, but I do believe you're right. I'm becoming concerned for his safety. I was going to suggest to him perhaps that my ship's doctor have a look at him, just to there may be something we can do to strengthen him. Perhaps he would also be safer on board the Daring. She's still docked in the harbor, as far as I know.
He does seem insistent on still completing the expedition.
Yeah, I don't think that we could change his mind on that front. It does seem very important to him. And I'm not all too convinced that de Mendoza actually has left. If he was willing to attack, potentially kill someone to get that rod, I have a feeling he'll be back for it.
That's a very good point indeed. I think you're right that there's little hope of convincing him not to come along. We could, however, just leave him behind. If we felt it was better, safer for him.
We don't exactly know where we're going, though.
And he has hired all the trucks and supplies and such.
Yes. Well, little deception might be sufficient to work through that complication, but it's just a thought.
So, I guess, then, we have to decide why we would still go?
Seems quite obvious to me. There's a mystery here to be sleuthed, Miss Blackwell. There's discoveries to be made. Who better to make them than us? It's almost as if fate has chosen us, you might say.
Nah. And at this point, Zeb's trade of getting a gun has clearly fallen on deaf ears, and people have moved on, and so he is back too. Now, I like a good adventure as any of my family may like, but this feels like the type that ends up with you possibly being dead, as opposed to perhaps getting cuffed around the ears.
Yes, indeed, Zebulon. It is something of a grown-up adventure, not a game. And she didn't intend for that to be hurtful at all. It just didn't occur to her that it might be.
Oh, no. See, that doesn't see that as hurtful. He sees it as like a challenge, right? Like I'm a grown-up. I can take care of this. Well, now, of course, I'm just, doing, the grown-up thing and making sure that everyone else is well understanding of the potential dangers to health and life of this adventure.
Thank you for looking out for us, Mr. Montgomery. This is... If our hypothesis is correct, and De Mendoza is the one trying to suggest and get people out there, it may be worth looking around. I mean, this is my area. I study these ancient and modern death cults. I mean, this could be another one. That is why I joined this expedition. I think if we all stick together, we will find whatever explanation lies behind all this. But we will find it out there.
I know we were concerned about Mr. Lockett. I can do my best to try and look after him on our. I like to think that I am, that I have the health and strength of two multiple men, many men. Sorry.
And perhaps some fraction of a woman then.
So I don't know why I find this so funny, but
You have many men inside you, yes.
As said in chat, Zebulon counts as a small group.
Yes, much like what's his name? Oh, I'm blanking on my Bad Moon Rising
Eden.
character. Eden, there we go.
A small group.
Counts as a small group. Anyways, now I can do my best to try and help him out, take care of him where I will, but I am going to say that in order to do that, I am going to need a gun. Help protect him and everything.
Well, we could. I'm sure there's something in the armory back on the Daring that would be suitable.
And I think we have a plan.
Do you think Mr. Larkin will be alright until we leave?
Well, if Mr. Montgomery is his protector, maybe he can go check on him.
We'll stop sending Zeb alone places, I think. We can have a group go check on him every couple hours.
I do think I took care of myself very well against that Mr. Mendoza and his strength.
So you'd like to be alone again?
No, I would not.
That's what I thought. So we'll send pairs over to check on Mr. Larkin every few hours until it's time to depart. Hopefully he will just continue to get better and better.
All right. Seems we have a plan.
Wonderful.
We have another day before we set off.
I think probably what we need to do next is actually get to the police and fill out the report on De Mendoza and what he did. We can get Trinidad down to the station as well, make sure that both she and Mr. Montgomery here give their full testimony of what happened, and let them know that he is now a missing person, so potentially on the run. And it wouldn't hurt to have, law enforcement's eyes looking out for him as well.
And I can have word sent to the Daring to have Dr. McLeod come to the hotel, perhaps, and have a look at him.
I want to run this by everyone here. I'm gonna guess I don't want to mention the whole with Mendoza part to the police.
I would think not. They might not take your account so credibly.
I didn't think that's
But
what I
the
was
part
thinking.
where he, attacked you and he did have a sword, we can even turn the sword over to the police if that would make them happy.
Well then, all right then.
But for today, I think we've had enough excitement. We can rest, have some lunch.
But we're not gonna go file the police report now. I mean, I would guess they'd probably want to ask us why we didn't report it immediately.
Well, we can go today. We can just go after lunch.
Okay. Lunch and then file the police report, yes.
Okay, lunch it is.
Priorities.
We have priorities. And our priorities are lunch. Does anybody want to do anything else for the remainder of the Saturday?
I guess other than file that report.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's easily done. I think you can arrange that. Jackson knows whereabouts to go.
Yeah.
Can get Rizzo. And y'all can file the report very easily.
Awesome.
Ganymede.
I think that Ganymede will... I don't know that she's got any particular plans, so she'll just be with whomever it makes the most sense to be with. But we'll also mention that if... I suppose perhaps to Irene, we do have something of a research library aboard the Daring. There's the university as well, but I'm not sure what the quality of their library is. We didn't get to look. Either way, there might be some use in doing some research to look into these visions that we've had, apparently. I'm not sure where I'd begin, but perhaps you, with your artistic skills and knowledge, might...
That sounds like a good plan. More knowledge going into this is probably better.
Yes, I quite agree.
Right? How extensive is the library on the Daring?
It is the most extensive library at sea.
And there is the library at the university, too.
Yeah. I think Irene wants to start with the university.
Mm-hmm.
And then she'll supplement it with the Daring, maybe.
Yeah, if the two of them were headed off to the library, then Charlie would maybe grab Zeb and say the two of us can head back to watch Mr. Larkin.
Okay. Great.
I like it.
God.
This is a good plan.
I do want to say I handed over the sword to the police.
Gotcha. Cool.
No longer have that sword.
Big ass, really old sword.
This is a really old
really
sword.
fucking old sword.
We have a drawing of it,
Yes.
obviously.
Which is
So
very
we have
good.
all the info about it.
I'll start with Charlie and Zebulon.
Okay.
What y'all doing? What y'all doing at the Hotel España?
Drinking, hanging out, probably playing some like solo card game. Actually, he's probably doing a casual tarot reading.
Yeah.
Just to chill.
Yeah. For Zebulon?
Unless Zeb asked for it, no, I don't think so. I don't think he would just do one for Zeb. Because you kind of have to buy into it, right?
Right.
For it to have any effect on you. So he's not going to just start pulling cards. As much as he would love to just start reading Zeb just to spook him. But yeah, I think he's just doing a casual, like situational draw.
Yeah, no, yeah, Zeb is not. Zeb has had enough demon magic for today.
Yeah.
I think Zeb is, if there is a bar here, if we are down in the bar.
Yeah,
we are down in the bar?
Yeah, we'll take I think Charlie would just say, why don't we get a drink before we head up and check on Mr. Larkin?
Zeb will see if they have any moonshine here, provided they probably don't have moonshine.
Have tequila.
Tequila.
No, I'm not familiar what tequila is. It is, what is it? What's tequila? Right.
It's a great question. Charlie's just like, I think he probably ordered 2 shots of tequila, and he just kind of slides it over to you and like gives you a wink.
Well then,
Listen,
cheers.
you're not with your parents right now, so you can have a.
No. Now I have already established with you, Mr. Rapp, that I am familiar.
Yes, I keep forgetting.
With the drink.
You make it very hard to remember what you're allowed to do and what you're not.
Now, a drink or 2 is not a problem. It is when the drink becomes your life that it becomes a problem.
What about a 3 or 4 drinks?
We'll see.
Yeah, he'll cheers you and take a shot of tequila.
So do you down it like a shot?
Yeah.
All right, then I guess Zeb will down it like a shot, and I think it nearly does like a spit thing. Like he's just like, what?
Sanity check.
What is? Oh, no.
You don't like it?
I cannot say that I'm a fan of it.
So you should probably have another. It's an acquired taste.
If Charlie buys another round of tequila,
I mean, he's gonna keep buying shots. If you stop taking your shots, he'll take your shot for you. But he's not. He's gonna just. He's here to chill. He's gearing up to smell that nasty ass smell again. He wants to be at least kind of tipsy for that when they have to go back and check on Mr. Larkin.
Yeah, Zeb will take a couple shots, but not too many.
So you said you're nearly 18, right?
Yeah.
And you're still in high school, right?
Yes, I'm gonna be a senior this year. Yep.
What are you gonna do when you graduate?
Well, I was. I need to check something real quick. There we go. All right. So I was thinking about. I've heard that there has been talk about establishing a formal professional football league around, and I don't know if you've heard about, Charleston High, but we are the 2-time state champions. Looking to make that 3 this year, and I was thinking maybe if that professional league is something, I might go look into that.
Even after all this adventure, you think you just go back to football?
I don't know if you played football for Mr. Rapp, but there is plenty of adventure to be there. It is the sport. It is the athleticism and just testing yourself against other people who have the same dream as you and trying to come out on top. It is rather exciting.
Charlie just nods and takes another shot.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Jackson joins you all. Drinks are had, and we're going to go across the city to the university. Ganymede and Irene, how do you approach this? Are you going to ask someone to kind of show you around?
Irene's probably going to ask someone to guide them to the section around, local historical stuff. I think that's where she wants to start.
Mm-hmm.
And then, she'll ask, like, how the library is organized. So she kind of would know, like, do they use Dewey Decimal, for example, or something like that. She just kind of wants to get a base understanding of the organization before she starts.
Why don't both of you make library use rolls, just in general, to see what you're going to come across.
Hard success.
Okay. You are kind of easily, once you're shown there, can easily navigate the section. You don't find too much more than what Rizzo's notes gave you. She seems to have, like, thoroughly found everything around here that she possibly could. I think you probably read a bit more about the time when the conquistadors came over here. But there's nothing really additional to what you already have. Like,
okay.
You feel like you have exhausted the research. Like, you've got all that you can. And as you kind of wrap up, and are, making your way out or back to the front to maybe try something else, you do run into Trinidad. Oh, you're back.
Good afternoon, Miss Trinidad. How are you doing?
It's been an exhausting day. Not really afternoon anymore. Buenas noches.
Yes. And she'll look out the window and kind of realize how late it's gotten.
Yeah.
She's like, yes, good evening. I should amend my statement then.
Yes, it's been an eventful day. I thought about going home, and then we went to the Policia, and then I just came back because I would rather be in a crowded place.
That's very understandable.
Speaking of which, would the two of you mind escorting me back to Professor Sanchez's office? Have a few more things to deliver, papers and such. And it is getting late, and campus is getting less crowded.
Of course. Ganymede has changed and is in her, dungarees and so forth. She has that, kind of quiver-shaped holster across her back, which you now know has this shotgun boarding axe that she invented. But she's recovered herself, and yes, of course, perhaps it would be worth checking in with the professor once before we go back to the hotel. You'd be welcome, of course, to join us, Miss Rizzo, if you'd like, perhaps just for dinner, but if you're feeling anxious about returning home, you'd be more than welcome to stay with us at the Hotel España, I'm sure. Arrangements could be made.
perhaps there is a dormitory style housing here that I may be able to stay at. Professor Sanchez and his wife, they have a guest room too that he has offered. Hopefully that will be adequate.
Very well then.
And y'all can start escorting her to Professor Sanchez's office. As you approach, why don't you make a listen check?
Regular success.
Same here.
Cool. As you approach, it takes you a bit. You have to get closer. You hear kind of a muffled cry, and then the breaking of glass.
Irene is taking out her gun.
Trinidad
Ganymede
kind
as
of
well.
hears it last. So first she sees the guns. What? Sorry, what is happening?
Miss Trinidad, you may want to stay a little back.
Yeah, she will step behind both of you. What do you do?
Allow me, Miss Blackwell. And the door's closed, I presume. With just one hand on the shotgun, the other reaching out to open the door. Professor, are you all right? I'm going to push the door open, ready to fire on anything if I have to.
You hear really ragged breathing. As you open the door, you see the window, part of it kind of cracked and has fallen, like somebody has like pushed it open very quickly. The windows in here are very large. And you see Professor Sanchez on the ground, like gasping very, very hard. And Trinidad rushes into him. Professor Sanchez, what's the matter? What's wrong? And he's like coughing and sputtering. You can see some kind of liquid maybe on his face, and he's like wiping it away, and he looks at her and at the two of you. The man was here. He kissed me. And that's where we're going to end today's session. A mask of Nyarlathotep. Cool. So let's go around and say hi to everybody. Plug your things. How did you enjoy the session? Let's start with Tommy.
Hashtag get Zeb a gun. He needs a gun. Like, not even like as a joke anymore. No, he seriously needs a gun. There is stuff happening, and he is 17. He needs to protect himself. Yes. Oh man. Another great episode. I apologize for the laughing fit I sent myself into earlier. It just started and I couldn't stop. But I love all of our characters. I love how we're getting to see sort of now like everyone sort of like where they are with the what's the word? The occult and the paranormal sort of like. Zeb is like both skeptical but also kind of like this could be demon magic, right? Like, but so it's been really great to see everyone's sort of like levels of where they are in the belief of all of this, and I'm glad that I avoided rolling after my first 3 rolls.
Yeah.
no way was Zeb gonna touch that mask and have to roll a power or sanity roll the way my rolls were going today. But yes, I'm super looking forward to next week. I am Imperator Pengu on the Twitter sphere. I do tabletop RPG stuff, specifically here Saturday mornings, and over on Encounter Roleplay on Fridays at 6 p.m. Eastern with another with a little bit more of a psychological thriller horror going on over there. Sort of Stephen King meets Shutter Island kind of thing going on. Other than that, I do some video editing around here, like the intro for this show. If you follow me on Twitter, that's where I announce everything I'm going to be doing. But yeah, super looking.
Awesome. Summer!
Yay! This was great. We got some pretty good information, some juice, and that I love that we've got kissing now too. I'm glad that that's finally made its way.
Yep.
Oh, what am I talking about? I was kissing all of episode 1. So who cares? No, it was awesome. I'm really excited. I'm Summer. You can find me on Twitter at Just a Summer Job. That's where I tweet and retweet about everything that I've got going on. Obviously, you can find me here every Saturday morning, but most often you can find me on my channel off_the table, where we stream Tuesdays, every other Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. We have a lot of good shows. You can catch me and Lauren over there, though, this coming Friday on Hark, which is a Cypher System campaign. So in just a little under a week, you can find us over there being cute pies. So yeah, just follow me on Twitter.
Perf. Allie.
Like I didn't know it was coming to me next. Oh man, that was so much fun. There was a point at like an hour in, and I felt like it was almost over. And I looked at the clock. I was like, "Yes, we have another whole hour to play. This is amazing." This is like all of my favorite Saturday morning cartoons when I was a kid. I love everything about this. So grateful for my fellow players and our keeper and all of you amazing, adorable pretzels in chat. Is that what we're calling them? Are we calling ourselves pretzels? Are we calling ourselves hedgehogs? What are we?
I don't know. I like both of those.
I kept trying to make hedgehogs work, but it just wasn't.
Hedgehog pretzels.
No.
Well, we'll do a Twitter poll.
That's a good
Twitter
idea.
poll.
Look for that. In the meantime, you can find me on Twitter at Allison Robinson. Everything that I do is there because I basically live my life on Twitter, especially now that I am working from home due to the imminent threat of coronavirus. Wash your hands, people. We care about you, and we will see you next Sunday morning.
Kienna, we should do outros.
Yes. Spice Wings. That's also very good. We'll do a Twitter poll.
That is good.
We'll go do that. But yeah, I'm Kienna. I am one half of the Saltysweet Games here. You can find me over on Twitter at Kienna S, which is one of the best ways to find out what I'm doing when I'm not here. I'm mostly just here. That's basically what I do. But I also stream other things, and I design games and all that stuff. So hit me up over there. Lauren, you talk about your personal Twitter and we'll do channel stuff?
Yeah, I'm Lauren. I'm That Salty Ginger over on Twitter. You can find me here and on Off the Table and on the Scraticus Academy, playing with lots of cool people. I loved today. This was so much fun. We'll be back tomorrow here for Daylight Savings Time Witcher RPG. Even earlier than before. So
yes. A whole hour less of sleep. It's fine.
That's
We're
what
morning
we
people
needed.
now.
We are morning people. Channel stuff.
Yeah. Before we sign off, want to give another shout out to our sponsors, Roll20. They help us connect all across the country and across the country into different countries to play games together. So they're really awesome. Go and check them out. They're a virtual tabletop of choice. We are part of the Spotlight program So also if you check out the Roll20 Spotlight program hashtag on Twitter, you'll see other really cool tabletop streams that happen in the community. If you miss any of our episodes or you want to rewatch any of them, we have a YouTube channel. We upload our VODs every week. I'm aiming Tuesdays, Thursdays. Don't hold me to that.
Go like them, comment on them.
Yes, like and comment will help us and get them up. And also, we are halfway through getting a custom, not silly looking URL. So please help us. Please. Because it'd be really nice if we didn't have to have a really weird URL. What else? We do have our merch. So if you like pretzel, you can get pretzel on some merch. You can also get the complex love polyhedrals design if you like all of the drama and smooches that we like to have in our game as well. Again,
Smooches,
Twitter
as featured today.
Yeah. Again, follow us on Twitter to find out what else we are doing. Actually, we just announced yesterday that we are running a mini-series of Lost Rifles on the channel, brought to you by friends of the channel. It's going to be really exciting. It's a World War I game powered by the Apocalypse, which just finished a Kickstarter. So we're going to be showcasing that. Super excited to do that March 15th and 29th. We will have our new emotes soon. They will happen at some point.
They're cute.
They're very cute. So thank you everyone who has subscribed, who has followed, who has donated. It's really awesome to be supported. Everything goes back into the production of the channel because we pay everything out of pocket. So we really appreciate all of the support y'all have given us. I think that's it.
Let's get out of here.
Let's get out of here. I will see if anyone is live so we can see if we can raid.
Cool.
But other than that, everyone have a lovely rest of your weekend and we'll see you tomorrow for some Witcher.
Everyone wave bye. Bye.